It's time now for today's speed round, brought to you by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL. And let's begin there, Peter. Washington football team 3-6 after thumping the Buccaneers coming out of the bye week. Washington feeling good about themselves. Panthers at 5-5, very much alive. Can Ron Rivera, excuse me. Can Ron Rivera shut down his old quarterback?
Well, I think he can, Mike. I think the biggest issue is right now is Cam Newton, some new version, and sort of, as he said, he wants to reclaim Bank of America Stadium. You know, is he what he was when he was the quarterback of the Panthers in his glory days? Or is he what he was last year in New England? And last year in New England was not a pretty sight. So I think this is a really important game for Cam Newton, and not just because he's playing his old friend Ron Rivera. It's an important game because Cam Newton has to show both Matt Rule, David Tepper, in this organization that he deserves to be the quarterback going forward. That's, to me, almost as important as somehow scratching and clawing a win to stay in contention for that 7th seed in the playoffs.
What I love about this game is you've got one coaching staff that is just getting to know Cam Newton, and you've got the head coach coming in who knows him better than anyone ever will. And I asked him jokingly after the win against the Buccaneers, do you carry around a file of plays to be used defensively in the event you ever face Cam Newton? He said, actually, yes, I do. So that makes a game that otherwise would have been on the schedule a very fascinating one. How about the Ravens coming off of the 22-10 loss last Thursday night to the Dolphins? 6-3 taking on the 3-6 Bears, who are coming off of their bye week. Can they duplicate what the Dolphins did, blitzing Lamar Jackson with safeties to the point where the Ravens have no answer?
You know, I'm sure that Greg Roman is going to have a couple of plans, because every good coach, every good play caller in the NFL has contingency plans. And I'm positive that just as the Chicago Bears watched the tape and watched how great the pass rush was from all over, particularly from the secondary on Lamar Jackson, I believe in this game that you're going to see the Ravens plan for that significantly better than they did last week. So, Mike, nothing is forever in the NFL, and I doubt sincerely that they will get totally messed up by a blitz again this week.
Yeah, I agree with you, and they definitely need to get back on the right track. This is their easiest game left on the schedule. They have some difficult contests coming up if they want to win that division and or get to the playoffs. How about the Packers at 8-2, going to take on the Vikings? Aaron Rodgers has not practiced this week with a toe injury that first popped up last Saturday when he was activated off the COVID list. They added him to the injury report with a toe, didn't attach a label like questionable to it, so he played, but the toe's an issue. And remember last year with Patrick Mahomes, he had the turf toe that lasted all year long. This is a mobile quarterback. Rodgers says he's definitely playing, but Peter, that's something to keep an eye on. Whether and to what extent he can move like he usually does if that toe is so bad that he was unable to practice either of the last 2 days.
Look, you know what's interesting about this game? The fact is it's going to be played on a fast track, indoors in Minneapolis. And I say that because the edge rushers for the Minnesota Vikings and the linebackers for the Vikings are going to be able to get off very, very sort of accurately. And what I mean accurately is if they are 4.52 in the 40, they're going to be 4.52 on this track. It's not going to be through the mud and muck or whatever the field would be at Lambeau. That, to me, is an advantage to the defense because I would just guess that Aaron Rodgers would be more likely to be more of a pocket quarterback in this game than he would be normally. So if I were the Green Bay Packers. I'd be thinking a lot more short routes, maybe wheel routes. You saw what A.J. Dillon did last week, making that 150-yard catch and run. I would be thinking about throwing short instead of throwing deep.
They can essentially lock up the division with a win in Minnesota on Sunday. They currently have a 3.5-game lead over the Vikings. Cardinals 8-2, Seahawks 3-6. It looks like a typo when you see Seahawks at 3-6. How do you think Russell Wilson bounces back from the first ever shutout he has absorbed at the NFL level?
I think he's going to bounce back well. I think this will be a really competitive game, even if Kyler Murray plays, and it seems like he will play. Russell Wilson is just, whatever you think of him as a person, and whatever you think of, yeah, I've been rehabbing 19 hours a day, whatever it is that you think of, he is a competitive nut job. And he is not going to take this, what just happened last week, lying down. He is going to come back this week. He's going to have the Seattle Seahawks in this game to the end. Now, it'd be hard for me to pick them in this game, but I think this is going to be a very competitive game all the way through.
10 days away from turning 33 is Russell Wilson. He said earlier this year he wants to be legendary and iconic. The team around him is not legendary or iconic, and I have a feeling after this season ends, we're going to be right back where we were in March, where the noise was there that Russell Wilson would like to continue his career somewhere else. Colts and Bills. The Colts almost beat Buffalo back in the wild card round. 27-24, the Bills won. The Colts are built to play outdoors. The Colts are built to compete well with the Bills. Peter, I think the Bills still win this, but I think when I see that 7.5 spread, Sims and I said this yesterday, that 7.5 spread's too much. I think the Colts are going to keep it close.
You know, the Colts right now are more on top of their game than they have been. I think one of the big things in this game is, how will Buffalo play Jonathan Taylor? Will they really sell out to stop him? And if so, will that take a little bit of the attention away from Carson Wentz in the passing game? You know, to me, I would really, if I were them, I would be doing everything to stop Jonathan Taylor behind that really good offensive line. I think this could be a game, a breakout kind of game for Carson Wentz. And I think it'll need to be if Indianapolis is going to win it.
All right, let's take a break. Show me something draft for Week 11 when this Friday edition of PFT Live continues right after this.
Pro Football Talk is brought to you by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.